yo, because Blues sometimes may not make it on time, and she's out doing her thing. I'm a toy collector. I love LJN wrestlers from the 80s, dude, like the big rubber.
Yes.
I mean,
I remember those.
Yes, dude. So that, being a collector of toys, going to Comic-Con, you know, meeting comics.
I know, man.
Being a writer for comics.
Yep.
And just being a nerd and loving and appreciating just everything from Nickelodeon to you know, WWF before it became WWE, Black Belt Theater. So I grew up on just animation, cartoons, storytelling. And so that, I just wanted to jump right in. You're probably going to ask this question, so I'll answer it for you. The reason why I did this amazing project is because my kids grew up on different generations of Blues Clues. My son Josh is 30, grew up on Steve. Jalen grew up on Joe or Donovan and Josh Dela Cruz. And my daughter's growing up on Josh Dela Cruz. So I built a friendship with Josh Dela Cruz in 2019 at the Macy's parade, right? Where Black Eyed Peas and Blues Clues had a float, right? So we're there, we meet, we exchange info, we become friends. And then when the opportunity to do this amazing project presented itself, it was like, wait, generations of Blues Clues, part of our household. I love Good Burger too. I love Nickelodeon. Yes, exactly. Part 2 coming. I love Cal, Keenan, all that, right? So I grew up on that too. So it was a natural progression for me to say, yes, let's go.
Yeah, no, look, you did. That's exactly what I was going to ask, because I knew like my kids are the same way. My oldest is 15. He grew up on Steve and Joe, and then my youngest is 10. So she's been a fan of Josh, and we watched the movie together as a family. I got my little blue. I got my blue right here.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Yeah,
there's a magenta around here somewhere, but the cat got a hold of it. I wanted to ask you this. Okay, so for some of our younger fans, our younger readers who might want to know what's Blue like in real life, I thought I would ask and give you a chance to let them know.
Well, I mean, very I don't even know how to do it. I can't even do it justice, but it was fun, man. You know, like seeing how Josh goes into, you know, acting mode and doing it on a daily basis with nothing really there other than Blue's stuffed animal. Like, yo, because Blue's sometimes may not make it on time, and she's out doing her thing. You got to stand in. You got to, you know, a little stuffed animal. And Josh is always on point with it. So I got to really learn from him. It was amazing being on set, especially in the time period that we were filming, because it was during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, dude, it was, you know, reality was crazy, but being on set took us out of the reality of the pandemic. It allowed escape. It was great to be part of this amazing project, because not only did I have a good friend in Josh, it was also beautiful to see all these different cultures represented in one movie.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you get to? You filmed outdoors, is that correct?
Yeah.
All of that was filmed. That wasn't a set. That was really like
outside Central Park. Yeah,
it was so cool, man. That had to be a really fun experience.
Yeah, it was cool. And I had a busted leg, man. I had torn my ACL. Nothing cool. Nothing like, oh, I was performing at the Super Bowl. I was performing at the World Cup. Nothing like that. It was just stepped wrong and tore my ACL. And so I had a brace that I had to take off during filming, but I was in pain. But every time the director said, shout out to the director, Matt, every time he called action, I forgot about the pain. I would just go straight into acting mode.
It's amazing. You get some of those. What are the Jim Carrey talks about the pain management skills he learned while doing the Grinch, or whatever. Like for like 10 hours a day, and he would have to like, do little things to like make himself forget about the pain. Something that really stuck out to me in the film, and I wanted to ask you this as a creative, as a musician, as an artist. The movie does a really, really good job of addressing putting yourself out there and addressing rejection and handling that, you know, sort of with emotional maturity. And you see these and they're performing for Rainbow Puppy and they're putting their all out there. And Rainbow Puppy saying, I'm sorry, you're great, but it just isn't it. And I feel like that was such an incredible message for families and for children. And I wanted to get kind of your input and your take on that as someone who's probably had to deal with that quite a bit being an artist.
Oh yeah, man. Black Eyed Peas, you're not tangible enough. That's what we got when we were coming up. You're not tangible enough. I was like, what's tangible? What does that mean? Your music is tangible enough. I'm like, what? What does that mean? So yeah, we had rejection, but the belief in ourselves was more powerful than anybody's criticism or rejection or no's or, non-belief. Mm-hmm. So we had belief in ourselves. The crew that I created with my brothers Will and Apple, Black Eyed Peas, was the ultimate belief. And so to have that represented on in this movie was something that spoke to me too. Because you see like the American Idols or these music shows where you have the Simon Cowells and you have that. Yeah. So it was great to see that reality being spoken through this lens of Blue's Clues. Mm. And so as a family, you can have that conversation. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation when everybody's not going to agree with you or everybody's not going to be a fan of you or everybody may not co-sign you. Yeah. And there's going to be no's, but that's reality. And so with a lot of no's, you got to have that fire in yourself that says, yes, I can do what I put my mind to. If I practice over 10,000 hours, I can be this. I can, that's how I look at it as a dancer, as a performer, as an artist. Like I put in my hours, man, 10,000 hours, outliers vibe, so that I can get to be able to master my craft. And so if you have that same philosophy and you use something as beautiful as this conversation that was this movie, the messaging, then you're able to have those conversations with your kids when the time permits.
I totally agree. I think it's really helpful. It's really great emotional tools for parents to be able to have access. Of course.
And that's important as parents, is like, you got to, sometimes you're like, how do I have these uncomfortable conversations that may seem uncomfortable, but really you're breaking down and you being empathetic of the age range, because there's different ages where these conversations may occur, like, bullying or, shaming and all these things that you have to walk a sensitive line as a parent, because you can't get emotional about it, but you also have to be like, how can I have this conversation with my kid about these issues? And I'm glad that Blue's Clues did that. And, they did it in such a way where we took away that information and we felt empowered at the end.
I completely agree. Absolutely. 100% wholeheartedly agree. Taboo, man, listen, I'm old school, dude. I remember Black Eyed Peas at Warped Tour, like 99.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, I mean, that's how far back I'm a big fan. I appreciate I'm a super big nerd too. So when I found out like this was gonna happen, I ran to my wife and I was like, I get to show Taboo my by night train. Let's go. I was so pumped. I ran my bookshelf and I was like, look at my werewolf by night train. I was pumped.
Steve, thank you, bro.
Yo, you're welcome, man. I want to let you go. I know our time is getting close up, but I wanted to ask you if you'd seen the Werewolf by Night movie that they did on Disney Plus. Get your thoughts on that, because I was a big fan. I'd love to know what you thought.
You know what? So the fact that they went with the Jack Russell version or Jack Russo version was cool. I think it breaks the mold of the IP that's out. So Werewolf by Night is the first iteration, this movie that, like Jack Russell version, the European version. Yep. Hopefully, I pray that we can have an indigenous hero that breaks that mold as well. And that's why that's why Jake Gomez was so important, because now you have a different version of Werewolf by Night that is more indigenous, that is my grandmother. I put my grandmother in the book. If you look, Granny Rora, that's my grandmother. I had to put her in the book, dude. So so I'm trying, dude. I'm trying, and that's why Blue's Clues was so important, because I wanted to bring my communities to the big screen. Yeah. Josh is a Filipino inspiration, and we have all these cultures represented on the big screen, and then to be able to have my native Mexican culture represented and just do what my grandmother's did for me as a kid, where she pushed and inspired me to just go after my dreams and be that conduit of hope to other kids in Indian reservations and Latino communities, because that's who I am. And that's all I want to do, man, is inspire kids that look just like me. That's it.
I look, man, I think it's happening. I think you're inspiring a lot of people. And
thank you, brother.
That you're out there keeping the conversation open.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Steve, man. You made my day. You made my day. Warped Tour.
You made my day, buddy. Thank you.
Wrestling. Let's go. Good burger.
Right, we got it all.
I'm a dude.
He's a dude. Thank you, buddy. Have a great day.